5, 4, 3, 1. Off blast!
And what a lovely off blast that was. Hello folks, welcome to another edition of NeviCast. This is your boy, Fearless Billy Nuwanda, the stealer of souls, the winner of every lady's heart in the world, and the master of coffee. Sitting next to me is once again our delivery man.
Delivery man, Adan.
And of course, joining us after a little bit of an absence,
Ellie, hi!
and after another little bit of absence, the master of games has returned. Everybody give it up for... Boy, that was kind of a little bit on the low key there. And of course, you know, anchoring us on the way, the Lord of the Edo period, the Lord of Horror, the master of, you know, the grimoires, Hans.
Yeah.
Boy, that was another understated little bit right there.
I started the trend.
Yes, you did start a trend at that.
Keep thinking that.
Anywho. Alright, let's kind of round things off. We're going to start up with a little bit of gaming stuff tonight. It's been kind of a quiet week, mainly because everybody's been too busy playing Zelda Breath of the Wild, so...
Everybody meaning you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it may be just me, but damn it, it's like it's been busy.
We're all afraid of the Switch screaming at us, and that terrified me when I saw the videos of it literally screaming at people, just
Was it half as bad as the insanity injection Mew Mew Mew?
It was worse.
I did not think that was possible.
It was pretty bad, but...
Mew, 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 mew.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'll skip that.
You're not missing much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's kind of like what he said earlier. It was like, of course, Horizon Zero Dawn, Legend of Zelda, and of course, anchoring out the month is going to be Mass Effect Andromeda. Of course, a big release coming next month, you know, Persona 5. So I mean, there's game releases to look forward to, but for tonight, we actually kind of wanted to go in a little bit of story time, and you know, as everybody knows, Kingdom Hearts has been putting out their remasters for a little while now. And matter of fact, they're getting ready to release the...
They're doing a re-release of the re-releases on PS4 now.
Yeah,
They did
it's
that,
like...
didn't they?
No. This is like... What?
Wait, what the hell was 2.8?
That was a new one that just came out not too long ago. But
Another title they threw out to further confuse you.
No,
so
that
you
was
couldn't follow it.
re-releases of the satellite.
Well,
games.
it was re-releases like the 3DS, Dream Drop Distance, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But now, later this month, they're putting out the PS4 version of 1.5 and 2.5.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, you're right. Oh my fucking god.
So, yeah, like, we actually kind of want, with Ellie here, we kind of wanted her to kind of share her little story of her and her boyfriend attempting to play through all of the Kingdom Hearts games
my
again.
God.
So,
So-
take us away, Ellie.
So I went so I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan, but admittedly I'd only played 1 and 2. I didn't play the satellite games because when I was younger. Whenever they came out, I couldn't afford all of the fucking consoles you had to buy to play these fucking games. Game Boy Advance,
3DS, and PSP, and
yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna buy all of that. I'm sure most people are not gonna buy all of it, and you know, I was about to say that the main storyline is in those two games, but it's not. But okay, again, I love Kingdom Hearts to death, but whenever you play, because I own the satellite games, I bought them on eBay for way cheaper than the remastered shit, because now I've caught up and bought most of the consoles that you can play these games on. But yeah, it's pretty much the gameplay. I mean, you're going through the worlds again, and it's the same shit. It's the exact. I mean, you're just replaying the Disney shit all over again.
oh, but it's the Proud Mix.
Oh god.
International. You get one extra main boss.
Oh yeah, no. You get well with the what was it? The 2.8. That's oh my god. I'm sorry. That's such a scam. Because I mean, you're playing these games that you've already bought. If you've bought all the consoles, or you could just, you know, you've probably caught up by now because they're so cheap now. But they added in one little extra thing that you have to fucking buy it. so you can play 3. I'm just gonna YouTube it. It's just a one little extra
Isn't it like just a video?
Yes, it's just a video like they did with
Well, no,
okay,
there's
the game.
also no, because if I remember correctly, like I think the latest release 2.8 had like a little bit of a playable section with Aqua, because I remember watching it. I watched a YouTuber go through it.
I'm not dropping $60 on games I've already played and already own, and then just for like a little bit extra stuff, that's not worth it. It's not worth it to me. Again, I fucking love Kingdom Hearts. I'm gonna buy 3. I've already set money aside to buy 3. I'm gonna play the shit out of it. But it's not worth buying all these things to get my Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, it's kind of like like I love Kingdom Hearts to death too. But the thing that like does drive me crazy is like the convulsion with the story really started with
I love how crazy
Chain of
the story
Memories.
is. Oh yeah, I fucking love how crazy the story is. It's nuts. It's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
But
Chain of Memories was fun, though.
it was a fun game, but that's when like all the like it was kind of felt like one of those where like it's kind of like the Matrix, where like you really felt like the first Kingdom Hearts was like, even though they had it to be continued, it almost felt wholly self-contained.
it was.
To where
Yeah, it really was.
then when you get through like Chain of Memories and even worse like 2, it kind of feels like Namura and them were just like, oh shit, we have to like come up with something. Here, let's just write some scribblish. We'll make that work.
Well, you know that the second
whole
one was it?
process,
They weren't even planning on making the third one. That's why it's taken so long. And you have all of these satellite games, and along with these fucking remakes. Like the remastered versions of all these games that they've already made. It's because they never planned on making 3. They did not know that, like, I guess they didn't know the success would be as big as it was, but they didn't really give a shit.
Well, it also didn't help that the Kingdom Hearts team themselves at the time was working on
14.
Final Fantasy Versus 13.
Oh, yeah.
And then in the middle of like development hell for that one, all of a sudden they and all the other... Yeah, when 14 went down the shitter, all of Square Enix had to stop what they were doing and go rescue 14, because that's their lifeblood. That's what allows Square Enix to take the chances they do, because they have a steady moneymaker.
Yeah.
And between that and Versus 13 being in development hell, that's why they couldn't get Kingdom Hearts 3 ever jump started. Besides, what you talked about. It wasn't until Versus 13 was taken away from Nomura and became 15 with Tabata and his team that they finally were able to start development on Kingdom Hearts 3 proper. Yeah, just like, I mean, everything about 3 looks gorgeous. It's like, it's going to be an insta-buy for me, but at the same token, I'm just like, please, let's just end this fucking Keyblade war. Like, now that we know the true baddie, Master Xenohort / Ansem / Xemnas / Kitty, who's like up on the table right now.
Putting his nuts on the mic.
Yeah. And our other special guest, once again, Wolfie.
Thanks, Wolfie.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I'm just kind of like hoping that they actually, conclude this shit and actually let stuff move forward.
Actually, I was reading about that. They, this is, God bless the Kingdom Hearts team. So they released that the third game is going to be the ending of the first part of, like, that saga. They plan to release many other sagas after this.
Which is kind of crazy, considering they didn't plan on making a 3.
Yeah. That, and it's been like 20 goddamn years, and they're just now concluding the first part. I'm gonna be in a retirement home by the time, like, it fucking ends.
But you'll be a badass old person playing, like, Kingdom Hearts. And
You'll be a master of the Keyblade. You'll be a geriatric master
Back
of the
in
Keyblade.
my day.
But then you can go and teach the next generation of Keyblade users how to own their craft. And by the way, I just want to say that the entire premise of Kingdom Hearts sounds like somebody lost a drunken bet.
Yeah, but it's so good.
It's so fun.
Yeah, well, especially
debating
like
that.
the
It
first,
sounds
like I said, the
fan
first,
fiction.
the first
is.
one was,
It is.
it is pretty much fan
Fiction
fiction.
is trash. Sorry.
It's so fun,
It's
though.
canon fan fiction now.
It's canon trash. It's canon trash, and we love it. We
Not
all
only
love
that,
it.
but like any and all decisions that Nomura makes has to be approved by Disney. So you can even say it's Disney approved fan fiction canon now.
Trash. Disney approves trash.
Didn't pirates use trash cannons to board enemy vessels?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably.
Just look at Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I was getting ready to
Wait.
say.
That was in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
Okay, replaying. Okay, while we're on the subject, man. So I loved Kingdom Hearts 2 as a teenager who was like, oh man, you had so many husbandos to choose from. Number one, but also, wow, replaying that, I thought the Pirates of the Caribbean world was fucking awesome as a teen, and I replayed it now, and I was like, this is not as good as I thought it was.
Short.
Oh,
It was really
it's so
short.
bad,
And it
dude.
wasn't- Okay, I have a funny story about Kingdom Hearts 2. I got extremely drunk one day,
Oh no.
and I was over at a friend's house, and he had Kingdom Hearts up. He's like, hey man, here, play this for a minute. It was on the Tron level.
Yes.
I
The
was
best
drunk
one.
off my ass, and I was sitting there running into a wall thinking it was a door for like 3 minutes, and then I realized it, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm running a wall. Like, yeah, I need to stop and go to bed.
Ah, that Tron level was just ultra confusing at times, and like even playing it sober, I'm just like, wait, what the fuck? What is this?
Now imagine
Especially-
not being able to see straight
Yeah.
and trying to run through that level.
Oh, jeez.
There was also some like bullshit bosses in Kingdom Hearts 2. Oh my god, especially at the end. I mean, Kingdom Hearts is already known for its bullshit bosses.
I
and
never
you,
fought
like,
Sephiroth.
oh my god,
Two.
dude. Oh no,
I
the ice
skipped it.
the Ice Titan's worse. I
Oh,
think.
God.
I mean, I've beaten both. Like, Ice Titan's way worse.
I got
fucking-
bored after a while. I just said, fuck it, I'm finishing the game.
Probably the wrong crowd to ask this, but how does it compare to an SNK boss? Chris might know this one. SNK bosses are frame advantage stealing whores. They will fuck you every chance they get. Next time we hang out with Jared, ask him about SNK bosses.
Will do.
Okay.
No, I would say SNK bosses are still more brutal,
Okay.
Really?
but
Yeah.
You fought the Ice Titan though in the first one, correct?
yeah, I fought pretty much everything in the first
Fuck
one.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
that
finished
guy.
I even did the first Sephiroth fight.
Sephiroth
Oh
was,
my god.
that was a
Yeah,
great
Sephiroth was
fight
bad.
in the first game.
Yeah,
But the
I
second
even-
one, I started it and I was like, yeah, fuck this. I just want to finish the game now.
Well, second one I beat too. The second one I actually considered to be easier because unfortunately by that point, I'd already unlocked so many like air combos and whatnot that basically all I had to do was just keep them juggled in the air the whole time, and that's like easy. It's like virtual easy mode.
The thing is,
Yeah.
I never even got to level 99 on Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, not many people do. There's really, I think that's also with the lack of walkthroughs because I wanted 100% the first game,
I
and
did.
I think I did.
You got the Mickey Mouse ending, whatever.
Ah, shit. Oh, maybe
After
I
the
didn't.
credits?
I got close. I fucking have EDD. I don't, I got
It's like the
close.
start of the Keyblade War thing. the little
Yeah, you
video.
unlock
Oh,
it's the
okay.
initial
You have to get
video
every
that
Dalmatian. You have to finish the Winnie the Pooh
I got a-
book,
Yeah, I did both of those.
and then there was one other thing. I forgot what. You had to beat Sephiroth, and then that gave you the special like video
Yeah.
after the credits.
you're not missing anything because it all basically it
It's
sets
all
up.
on YouTube.
No,
And
or,
it's-
yeah,
and
again,
it's-
you can fucking YouTube that shit now.
Well, not only that, but it also sets up Birth by Sleep.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
play through that one, that's basically what the
Oh
secret
yeah,
movie
Birth
sets
by
up.
Sleep is pretty mind blowing. Yeah, I remember a lot of people were really confused with the second game because they never played the satellite games, and I remember having friends like, "Who the fuck is fucking Roxas? Like, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck is all this?"
I don't know though. Like I consider Roxas to be a better badass than Sora in that game.
He's less whiny.
Oh, but Sora's a little baby.
But he doesn't have giant, ridiculous shoes.
Giant clown shoes.
But, I mean, the older he gets, the
Oh.
smaller his shoes get, though.
Okay,
Really?
guys.
Yeah.
Guys, we gotta agree on this.
Does he increase in the number of belts that he wears? Because that's
Yes,
how you
Yeah,
truly-
he does
Yes.
increase the number of
That
belts.
is how you tell a JRPG hero is getting more powerful. They increase their number of belts.
Their belts get more increased, and then their shoe sizes shrink.
Also,
Yeah.
Look
let's
at Lulu, I will say. She has an entire dress of belts.
Yeah.
And, Firiga Fury, end of the world scenario.
let's all agree on this though. I cannot wait to see the fucking cosplayers for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because,
like
oh man, Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts cosplayers are the fucking tits. That's
yeah.
awesome.
No, like when Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, like that very next Acon, like it's just gonna explode in Kingdom Hearts all over
It's
again.
so good. I'm gonna relive my weeaboo days when I
Better
was a
than
teen.
Shingeki no Kyojin cosplay
Relive?
everywhere.
Oh, you know that
You're
shit's
still a
coming
weeaboo.
back.
What are
Yeah,
you
that's-
talking
Oh,
about?
yeah,
God.
because the
When
new
I was
season.
like
Area.
really, oh my god, y'all know what I mean. I am still weeaboo
You're-
trash.
You're old school weeaboo.
I am. I remember back in the day when sorry to like go off on a little tangent, but
Back
some,
in my day.
no, like for some like weeaboo history, primarily like female weeaboo history. Back in the day, do y'all know the website Quizilla?
Yeah.
Okay, so back in the day, if you were a female between the ages of like 11 and like 16, Quizilla is where you got self-insert fan fictions, and you could either read lemons or limes. A lime is a fan fiction to where there's like some like touching and kissing and shit, you know? But a lemon is when it goes like all the way. They don't fucking use those terms anymore. But but back then, we had lemons and limes. That's what we labeled our dirty fan fiction as.
Jeez.
So ridiculous. Like, not many people know about, like, that small culture on Quizilla. Unfortunately, Quizilla is now, defunct. It no longer exists, which is pretty sad. But, yeah, that's where all the fucking girls that never got boyfriends in high school fucking went to.
Also, once again, there's Adan with his one comment in the gaming section.
Making fun of me.
Yep.
All right, yeah. That
So easy.
Oh my god, Jason! Fuck you.
Rum is on fire tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
It doesn't happen often, but when it does.
To be fair, I'm talking about fucking not getting a boyfriend in high school. So it's low-hanging fruit.
Oh man, good times with weapons. Yeah, so from that point, we are actually going to transition to Adan's Corner Explosions. And it's another time where Adan likes to go in and dissect some of your favorite anime series you probably never watched and have lots of fun with it. So time to take it away, Home Slice.
That's right. So, like William said, it's probably an anime you've never seen before, which is Diabolik Lovers. And, of course, it's not diabolical, it's diabolic, because it's Japanese. So, yes, I am trying to do something different this time, because as I mentioned like on the previous episode, the series itself is deeper than one would expect. So what I'm going to attempt to do with this series is to analyze every episode, and of course it's a 12 episode. I'm not gonna do analyze like One Piece or Naruto, which is fucking 102 or some shit like that. Yes, I'm not gonna.
Quick comment.
Yes.
I first saw the title Diabolik Lovers, and I was like, oh, it must be a fucking yaoi. Like...
Yes. Yes. And it seems that way, and it's interesting, and that's what caught my attention, because it's not that.
Yowie?
No, I'm kidding.
And it's not that, and that's what caught my attention, because it's not yaoi. It's actually the opposite.
Yuri?
Well.
That's girl on girl.
Oh shit.
Okay. So
You sure do got a pretty mouth.
No. So as I
Squeal like a swan.
yes. No. It's not like that. So as I mentioned,
All right.
as I mentioned in the previous episode, it's about the male psychology, and so I would like to attempt to analyze every episode. So I will try to analyze 12 episodes of this series, and what I think is particularly interesting of this series is that it's the male psychology, and as I mentioned in the previous episode, it's the explanation, or like an attempt at the exploration of the male psychology, because in this series there's a female protagonist, but you don't know anything of this female protagonist. the only thing that you know is the story behind the male protagonists. So this means that the story is really about the male characters instead of the female character. And so I will start with the first episode of Diabolik Lovers, with a K, of course, because Japanese love that kind of stuff.
Looking up English.
Yes.
English.
Damn
English.
Japanese.
That's right.
English.com.
That's right.
There's a
English.
horrible
And
stuff.
so
Fire kills children.
Yeah.
with this series,
Why you're dead.
they are vampires. Dun dun dun. You know, like, so
Blah.
yes, exactly.
I want to suck your blood.
Yes.
Adan.
And I was thinking, like, really, goddamn, like, real vampires, gosh, fucking. But what they do with this series is that they adopt the vampire figure, and then they go with it, because in this show, like in the first episode, I will start with the first episode. The female who appears to be the female protagonist, shows the Christian cross, which does nothing to the vampires, and so the characters tease her and mock her, saying that, like, garlic, holy water, and crosses do nothing to harm the vampires. And that's the first thing. And the second thing of this first this show is that the female character appears to this house with the not knowing anything of the reasons why she's in this house. The main characters are the male characters, and they are the majority of the characters.
Of
They're-
course.
Of course. And there's only one
I'm kidding.
one female character.
Whose sole trait is being female.
Exactly, which soul, like I said before, which soul character is being female.
So it's not on purpose.
It's
though.
not on purpose. It's not on purpose. So, I would argue that the reason why the show is about vampires, male vampires, not female vampires, just male vampires only, is because the night vis-a-vis the moon, vis-a-vis night, the darkness, represents the female, you know, the feminine. In mythology, we see this characteristic over and over. And so, throughout the show, and like I said before, like, I'm gonna spoil.
Now, I thought you were going to be offensive with that,
No.
by the way.
No.
That is actually a nice description of,
Yes, and-
of how men do see women. That, you know, or, you know, just like society in general. You know, like kind of like a commentary on certain aspects of society, I guess I would say.
And I think I will be offensive later on.
Yeah, probably.
Because the show goes to very, I would say, offensive territories, as I mentioned in the earlier podcast. So, what I find interesting, and the reason why I pay attention to this show, is because I don't think it's a coincidence that the male characters are vampires, particularly male characters, because
Their life sucking.
well, not only that, it's because they're male blood sucking characters that are
So they're car salesmen.
they're bound to night.
Lawyers.
Oh yeah.
And so, because they're bound to night, to darkness, to moon, to darkness, they're bound to the mother. And like I mentioned in the previous podcast, it's purposely the male psychology, because later on in the show, you will see that these male characters have different issues, problems, traumas with the mother. So, another thing is the fact, another particularly interesting aspect to this idea of vampires is that they are undead. So that is an interesting definition to someone, to a particular way of being. So you're not completely dead, and you're not alive. You're undead. So in the first episode, the female character comes up to one of the vampires, and she checks her pulse, and she says, "Oh no, he's cold, and his heart is not beating."
Wow, her voice got really deep.
Really, really deep.
When you're surprised, your voice deepens.
Yes.
by an octave.
Exactly.
He has no heartbeat.
That's
I mean,
right.
I know mine does, and
That's
I get
right.
surprised.
Exactly. I mean, she wanted to call 911,
I'm gonna die.
but she wanted to call 911, but the vampires took her cell phone and crushed it,
Wait.
so
What the
she
fuck?
couldn't call.
Vampires are dicks. That's the whole point.
And
That's kind of the point. They're the super predator that humanity needs.
And-
Men.
and-
Okay.
and
I
I
think
Man.
and I would argue that it's undead because it's the whole psychology behind this issue of men.
They can't have emotions.
They can't. That's it.
Exactly. They
That's
can't
it.
have emotions. You can't
No.
show emotion. You can't
Not allowed
cry.
to.
Yeah, you're not
No.
allowed to cry. You're not allowed to feel anything. You're not allowed to express.
No, they're
how
dead.
You feel, yeah.
They're dead.
So
So
yeah.
they're undead because they're still human, but they're dead inside.
Of course.
And
Just like me.
so
What about Kenshiro and his manly tears of justice?
uh
Kenshiro cried like a faucet,
yes,
and
we're
he's awesome.
we're talking about this show though.
I'm just saying, Kenshiro
Yes.
is awesome. Moving on.
Okay. So
Up gets me every time.
the other so we're
It gets
so
you up every time.
ha so vampires, they're undead, they're alive but not. So we're in the show, in this Diabolik Lovers, later on in the first episode we learn that the female protagonist, or who we think is a protagonist, because she's the one that goes to the house, and she's the one who's telling the story. She goes up to a room in this mansion where she is sent by her father, who we never see, which is another interesting aspect of the series. She looks at the diary of her father, and we learn that she is not the biological daughter of this person. And so this leads me to think that she is a psychological body, like she's or an idea. So she's not the biological daughter, which means that she's supernatural or extra natural. She's outside of what is biological, which leads me to argue that we're talking about psychological issues. So I would argue that we're talking about
You could say it's even diabolic.
yes, and it's mainly male, of course, because we have a bigger number of male characters
Yeah, I think we've
than female
I think
characters.
we've gone over that.
So I'm just going over that. And I would just like to end by saying that in the first episode, the female character does not ever say her history because she's always interrupted by the male characters, which I would argue that it is the female character who is the psychological character that enters into the male psychology and interrupts the male way of thinking, and that's why we don't understand or we don't get to see the female aspect of it, because every time that the female psychology tries to go into the male psychology, it's always interrupted by what I would argue the male trauma. And so later on, like as I said at the beginning of my corner, it's the male psychology that is trying to reconcile the female, or I would say like the spiritual, or the female aspect that is trying to reconcile with the female aspect. And so how I would argue this is because in the episode itself, it says that the female is not the daughter, the biological daughter of the father, and the vampires do not recognize her as something that belongs to them. And I will end my corner by that, and I will continue explaining what I mean to say in the second, or the following.
I want to say that makes me really want to watch Diabolik Lovers. To add on, no, it really does. To add on to that, if you are also, sorry to like put this in, but that like it really gives like a good, like that makes me interested to see more of like the male psyche. To add that in, if you liked the movie Misrepresentation, that was about how women are portrayed in media, you will also like the movie by the same people about how men are portrayed in media and about the male psyche. The movie The Mask You Live in 2015 was made by the same people. Goes over a lot of what Adan talked about with the male psyche, how men are portrayed in media, how men are expected to act. You know, it's great people that make both movies.
Agreed.
Great, you know, it's really eye-opening. Even if like like you're a pretty open person, pretty open-minded person, you pay attention to things like that, it's still a good movie to watch. You know, it's sorry to overstep, but again with the male psyche, like what you explain like really correlates with that movie too.
I completely agree, because so a couple of symbols throughout the episode. So in the beginning of the episode, the girl comes into this mansion where the vampires are, and so the moment she steps in the vicinity of where the mansion is, rain starts falling. And so of course we all know that rain is tears, so we know that whoever is living in this mansion is sad as hell, is depressed. You know, there's some bad shit going on. When I'm gonna go over a little over the rest of the season, but we know that all of the male characters have some traumatic events going on in their life. So
that shapes who they are.
Yes.
In their unlife.
Yes.
Yeah.
In their in their unlife, or the life that they had before she comes into their lives, quote unquote.
Does it ever talk about how they became vampiric, or is it just kind of taken as one of those of courses for the audience?
It's a little of course because
they want to focus more on their philosophy
on their lives.
Yeah.
Because they tell you in the first episode they were born vampires, and in the series itself they tell you that their mothers, again, the mother was a vampire.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna check that out then.
And so I hope I have caught your attention, and I will conclude my my analysis for this first episode, and I will continue next time.
Alrighty, well, good times then, and we'll look forward to that next week. So, segueing from that, it is time to talk some dank animus. And, of course, you know, the big thing that's coming up is, like, the spring 2017 season. We've got all sorts of tasty, crispy, delicious anime that you can...
My Hero Academia Season 2.
Yeah. It's actually going to be a pretty big one, because not only have you got My Hero Academia Season 2, you've also got Attack on Titan Season 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Wolfie agrees.
Yes, Wolfie agrees.
But what do we have coming out in the Edo period? The only period that matters.
I don't know, that's a good question. You should know the answer to that one, Hans.
You're right, I should. But my skills be slipping, as I've spent most of my time watching Parasite, the Maxim.
Have you finished it?
Not yet.
Oh, that's a good... Okay, I'm gonna analyze that one next time. Because that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah. But yeah, like, what are some other gems that we're looking forward to? Like, there was one particular one that Jared pointed out to me that was a... like, it was, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It's like Kiss Note or something like that. It basically, like, looks like a harem series, except...
like Death Note with kisses and...
Yeah, it said Kiss Note.
Right, it is? I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because
So you write someone's name in it and they get kissed?
and they love you?
Something...
That's weird.
Yeah.
I'd rather have them die, because that's a normal part of
Well, at least it's not kissing.
Dying
it's
is so much more normal and better for the environment than falling in love.
Yeah,
fuck that
fuck
falling in
that.
love shit. Maybe you should have been here closer to Valentine's Day for that little rant.
At least it's not kiss X6, sis, whatever.
What is that?
Hey,
Is that a hentai, Jason?
No, it's not. It's a
It's a hentai.
no, it's etchy, but
That okay, so it's a hentai.
It's a
Borderline.
soft
It's a
core.
soft hentai. So it's pretty much porn.
So the guys, the main character's parents remarried, and he wound up getting two sisters who are in love
What
with him.
the fuck? Okay, no.
Incest
Okay.
is best.
I gotta say this real quick. Fucking okay.
And they're
I
in love
love.
with him.
Of course they
They're
are.
twins.
Of course they are. So I gotta say this. I love Japan. I love anime. I love the things it makes. But fuck this whole weird incest thing that they have going on in anime.
But
That's
they're not
weird.
related. By
No,
blood.
that's weird.
You-
That's
you-
weird.
So you love yaoi, but incest is
I
just
never
crossing
said
it.
I never said I
And there's
did.
comment number 2.
Oh my god.
Okay,
killing
so-
times? No.
Killing stalking is not a yaoi. I've explained this to you.
It's more yandere.
No. Oh my god.
I
Yandere
did...
start out sweet.
No, no.
Again, I've tried to explain. It's not.
At
All
least
right.
it's not
If
school
you
days.
think killing stalking, which is also a manhwa, not a manga, or manga, sorry, from Texas, we say manga here. Anyways,
I've said
but-
manga and lived in Texas my entire life.
fuck off, Hobbs.
Manga.
But if you think killing stalking is a lovey, yaoi, like meant to like titillate you, you are reading it wrong. It is not meant to do any of that. You don't get off to that.
It's no Boko no Pico.
Oh my god. Stop. But it's not supposed to be a loving, like, sexy relationship. It's an awful, awful relationship, and they're both really fucked up people. Do not... I'm just gonna say that. Y'all fucking please get it in your head. It is not a good series to, like, emulate or think is hot or anything. It's not a good relationship.
Anyhow, I did find out the name for that series I was trying to talk about. It's called Renai Bokun. But yeah, the apparent point is that it's a kiss note that makes anybody fall in love with each other.
What the
And
fuck?
basically, like, the angel who is supposed to be the holder of the kiss note,
Oh my God.
writes down the name of this regular dude, and bam, he gets a harem.
So who's the opposite? Okay, so if in the Death Note live action, they got William Dafoe to play Ryuk, who are they
Really?
gonna have for? Apparently they
Holy
did.
shit.
Yeah, apparently for the American version
Holy
of
crap.
Death Note, they got fucking
Oh,
William Dafoe
man.
to play Ryuk, which I think is
The
a
guy-
pretty good choice.
Well, I think it is, but like
it's
that's
a pretty good choice. But what the
that's-
fuck, William Dafoe? What are you doing?
that's Antichrist. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. He's fucking.
They should have gotten Nicolas Cage.
On another, well, yeah, Wolfie agrees with you on that one too. But yeah,
Wolfie
the
always agrees with me.
the other big one that like it completely slipped my mind was that of course Boruto is premiering.
Yes.
Oh my
I'm
God.
excited for that.
What the fuck is wrong? What?
I like Naruto.
Oh my God.
I have no idea what
Kill
Boruto is.
Boruto. I'm
It's
gonna. You know what?
Naruto's kid.
It's Naruto's kid.
No.
Yes. So
Yeah,
don't
the-
worry. Naruto has ended, but now they've got Boruto.
That
I'm gonna
sorry.
draw a picture of Naruto slitting Boruto's throat. I'm just gonna do
Yes.
that, just because it needs to end. It needs to die.
You know that's never gonna
You know
die.
what?
Naruto
You know what?
prints
Check
off way
that
too much
out
money.
Next Monday, this Monday, I will draw that. Just fuck it. It
That
needs
is-
to end.
It does need to end.
Also, we got a couple big fantasy animes coming up. Shingeki no Bahamut premieres its new season
I have
soon.
no idea what that is.
Attack of Bahamut or
Muhammad?
Bahamut?
No, I was like, what?
Also, Grand Blue Fantasy, the animation premiere. So if you're a big fan of that particular mobile game, that one's coming out as well.
When is Attack on Titan coming out?
April 1st.
Yep.
Alright.
Ooh.
Yeah, April 1st for...
Simulcast on Funimation.
yeah, matter of fact,
yeah.
both My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan are both same day.
Nice.
Cool.
So, yeah, you got both of those coming out.
So excited.
Okay,
Yeah.
Attack on Titans. I will do an analysis on Attack on. I'm sorry, on My Hero Academia. That's really good.
It's a freaking phenomenal
I
show.
agree.
I do like
Also, they do have the next season of Berserk, hopefully with better CG, coming out on April the 7th.
Okay, so
I sincerely hope so.
As-
It's not Edo period, but for Kentaro Miura's creation, I am willing to make an exception.
as many of you know, I'm blind, so I'm waiting for the dub still. So, unfortunately,
That in this upcoming Berserk season, he's supposed to get the Berserker armor.
okay. So I want to have a conversation about the first season that came out, like how it ended, because a lot of people
The 2016 or
Yes.
the one where he's back with the Band of the Hawk?
the Band of the Hawk.
Okay, that was the first one from way back when with
Yes.
the awesome outtakes.
Yes.
Who wants to jerk me off?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can we do this now?
Huh?
Is anybody okay with us talking about?
I mean, go ahead.
I mean, yeah,
At this point, it's been out for so long that if it's spoilers for you,
I'm not going to watch it either
I
way. So.
I
Like-
agree.
here's a spoiler. Christ dies in the Passion of the Christ.
Yes, that's right.
Oh my god, you just.
That's,
Oh,
that's right. Chris dies. Holy shit.
I didn't know that shit.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh my god.
So
Literally.
okay. So
Jason.
That's a knee slapper.
Knee slapper.
Slapping someone else's knee?
Yeah.
so
As long as you don't take an arrow in it.
I
True.
Oh, ha 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 ha!
I am one
You
of
know what that means,
those.
right?
I'm
No
one.
shit.
I'm one
I
of those.
fucking hate that joke.
What?
The jerk an arrow to the knee.
You know what it means, though, right?
You can't adventure anymore.
No, it means he got married. He took an arrow to the knee
Oh my
and
God,
he went
that's so
down on
dumb.
his knee and
I just focus on the fact that people wouldn't shut up about that fucking joke at conventions. It was the equivalent to butt scratcher in the game at conventions. So I just fucking despise it.
Butt scratcher.
I don't think I've heard the game.
Butt scratcher.
I consider myself lucky.
So, Raven, I would do the same thing as that guy. The guy who became Raven, like in the dub, like I'm just going over the...
Are you
we
thinking
talking
about...
Griffith?
Yes.
Probably talking Griffith who becomes Femto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Femto, Raven, whatever.
Well, he does kind of look like a big raven, and in the awesome outtakes, I am Batman!
Yes, exactly. I would do the same thing.
Sell out all your friends to get demonic power? Noted!
So that's the thing.
We'll be watching you in case you show up with any new jewelry.
Oh god,
So-
Pathfinder's coming up.
That's the
He's gonna kill us all.
That's the
He's
argument.
gonna try.
That's the argument that I would like to make.
I will chop off Vanika's arm and defeat most of those things before I run away with my mind-broken lover.
The thing is, he did everything that he promised he would do. They became from peasants to knights.
And then he straight up murdered them.
And then he murdered them. But they would have never become knights if it weren't because of him. They were happy because of him.
Until they got murdered by him.
Until they got murdered by him.
So really, this is a thing where do the ends justify the means? Was that small time in the sun worth that eternity of ass fucking darkness?
And I think I would say yes.
So you would,
I don't think you're good for the Pathfinder game. We're gonna have to change your alignment.
Pure Dagnasty evil. Is that an alignment?
That's more chaotic. No, yeah, he's more chaotic
evil.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
well, then since it was all no, it was completely self-interest for Griffith that drove him to do what he did.
Yes.
So it's more lawful evil then?
I would say more neutral evil.
Really?
Because he uses the law when it affects him, but he's fine with completely discarding
annihilating everyone.
Yeah. Well, that and he lays with a noble to get money to fund his army, and then later you see him callously killing that noble, even though he's obviously smitten with him. The noble rides up, is like, "Oh, Griffith, I remember you." Griffith's like, "I will kill you."
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, the thing is, what I want to rescue or to salvage is the fact that he never, until the very, very, very last end, if I may be so redundant.
Well,
he doesn't go against his troop. His troop wins every single time until he fucks him over.
Even before, when he gets caught with the princess, and after he's been tortured, and the Band of the Hawk saves him, how he pathetically tries to force himself on Casca, yeah, I think he's betraying them at that point.
And I think that he may betray them morally, but he doesn't sell them to the enemy, for example. You know?
That's because they caught him and not them.
Yes.
I'm sure had they caught some of them, he would have sold them out in a heartbeat.
Yeah, because the main thing you got to remember is that when Griffith was tortured at that point, it broke him so much that that's what finally...
Well, even then, he's always been out for himself. It's just that he's been riding this wave of good fortune that he can take the Band of the Hawk with him. But as soon as his fortunes go south, fuck them. Fuck them all.
And although I think that that is maybe not exactly true, because he was not a noble all the time. It is at the very end where they make him a knight, and they have the Phoenix order that you see shit going downhill.
Well, as I was saying earlier, he's always been in it for himself. He's just had the good fortune that he didn't have to sell anyone out.
I disagree, because you see this scene, and you see this dynamic, the love triangle between Guts, this guy, and the girl.
Well, in that, Casca has always desperately vied for Griffith's approval, but he really doesn't care. And as much as she initially hates Gatsu, they grow closer together because he's actually available.
And that's the thing. He's available, but that doesn't mean that the Hawk or this guy, forget his name, Griffith. Okay, Griffith is unavailable. I think that this scene where he saves her shows that he's not only just going for himself. But she was about to be raped, and then he saves her.
He values her as a soldier. She's a tool to him, nothing more.
Yes, she's a tool, but like soldiers are many.
More like a tool.
There are many soldiers. He says, like, you can take your faith, your destiny into your own hands. Like, he thinks enough to give her that opportunity of telling her, okay, I've saved your life, now you do what you have to do. Like, what you think you should do.
But by that same token, he also essentially forces forces Gatsu to join him because he found him interesting.
Yes, agreed.
He's like a toy to him.
Yes. But Guts says, there's a point where he says, fuck you, I'm leaving. And he does.
And this is Gatsu. You do not stand in his way.
And yeah, nobody ever stands in Gatsu's way, but we're going to have to stand at the end of this discussion for now.
Yes, let's continue next time.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, the thing is, I would like to have a back and forth with you when I've finished Parasite.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's do that.
We'll do the talking about then. At this point, we kind of want to wrap things up by discussing, like, what everybody was into this week. And for me, it's been the Power Rangers marathon on Twitch. For you guys who don't know, like, of course...
Go binge watching.
Yeah, that's pretty much, like... Twitch has been doing, of course, the Power Rangers marathon, basically doing all episodes of Power Rangers leading up to the new movie coming out shortly. I think it's like this upcoming weekend.
31st.
31st, yeah.
No, 28th.
28th, yeah.
Like
So, yeah, like, been watching through all those episodes, and it's like the funniest shit, mainly, you know, because of on Twitch, you know, you've got a bunch of folks that have either grown up with the Power Rangers, some of them are watching the episodes for the first time. And besides noticing how spectacularly awful a lot of the early Mighty Morphin Power Rangers episodes are...
Okay, you gotta remember, y'all are like 10 years older than me. I was a literal child when I watched Power Rangers.
Yeah, plus you probably grew up, like, even beyond...
I grew up with Power Rangers, watching that when I was a wee one. That shit was bomb!
My
God.
See, and I bet you probably grew up with some of the later seasons of Power Rangers. Like, you probably... Didn't you start off with, like...
No, I started off with the first one.
You did start off with Mighty Morphin as well? You must have been the Wii Sprout then. Yeah, you probably were. Yeah, because I was still, like, getting ready to enter, like, middle school and stuff when I first caught it.
I remember dressing up as, like, the Ninja Power Rangers and shit when I was little.
I was more into gargoyles and...
Well, I mean, I was into that too, but I mean, like, I watched a ton of Power Rangers when I was a kid, but the funniest part is, like, you know, watching Twitch chat, and, like, you know, every time the putties come out, they're like, like, now, like, we've got, like, of course, like, with Twitch, they've got to make memes out of everything, so it's now, like, BL, so the other favorite thing they notice is that, you know, when Tommy enters the scene being the Green Ranger, you don't really notice as much as a kid that Tommy was like... He kept disappearing.
Yeah.
So it's like the next big thing that came up was Tommy AFK.
Oh my god.
It's like every time that, like, Tommy would have to disappear because, I gotta go to audition. I lost my communicator or some shit like that. It'd be like... The chat would just light up Tommy AFK, Tommy AFK, Tommy AFK.
What's really cool about that guy is the guy that originally played Tommy, he like still does like conventions and shit like that. And he's like, he's super good like to his fans.
He's got his own YouTube channel. He does like a lot of cool stuff.
Oh, cool. Good for him.
Yeah.
So happy.
They have this thing on Bat in the Sun where they do like showdowns versus like I think there was Tommy as a Green. No,
They had Green Ranger versus Scorpion.
yes.
Oh my god.
And they actually not only got him to come out and do
Tommy
that,
actually came out and did the whole.
they
That is so
they gave him they
nice.
redesigned his costume for it too.
Aw, that's so nice.
But I mean, yeah, like Jason David Frank, a lot of folks like to give him shit because like, yeah,
he's
like
big
he.
into MMA and stuff like that.
That's
Well,
right,
not only that,
that's
but
right.
like he does have like throughout a lot of the filming of Power Rangers, he had like the biggest, like one of the biggest attitudes out of all of them. But at the same token, you can't. It's kind of like Vic Mignogna. Like you know,
Oh,
the dude
Lord.
is like a drama queen,
Yeah.
but you can't deny what he does for the fans.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the same thing with Jason David Frank. You know, just like dude always goes out of his way to stick up for Power Ranger peeps.
Yeah,
So I mean,
and
you
you
can't
know-
fault him for that.
Speaking of the original Power Rangers, you know that the Black Power Ranger does salsa dancing classes? He's a salsa dancer, and he does salsa dancing classes now.
Yeah.
And the Yellow Ranger died in a car accident in like 2004, I think.
No, it was right after the 9/11, or leading up to it.
God.
I thought it was
yeah.
shortly after Crow City of Angels, or was that just the last movie she was in?
That was the last movie she was
Oh,
in.
that's so sad. Yeah, that's
But
really
yeah, like,
sad.
It was but
Pink Ranger seems to be doing all right.
Oh,
yeah, Amy Jo
that's fun.
Johnston, she's kind of led like an indie career ever since. Then
Well, I saw her watching the Twitch Power Rangers marathon. They had a little live stream of her
Aw,
watching.
yeah.
She had
Yeah,
a glass
like-
of wine, and she seemed
That's
to be
so
into it.
cute.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
like
was-
she like
She was my favorite. Sorry, I know that like the Pink Ranger always like the girls always love the Pink Ranger, but yeah, she was my favorite back then.
I'm sure plenty of the boys loved the Pink Ranger.
Oh yeah,
too.
right.
But no, it's kind of funny because I remember that same stream because she also had David Yost, who was Billy, the original Blue
I did not
Ranger.
see that part.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
Billy.
Like the other thing that everybody on the Twitch stream commented was like, "Old Billy's got to rise again," you know, just like shit like that. And it's just that dude, like he avoided the spotlight for a while. Him and Austin St. John, who was the original Red Ranger Jason.
Yeah.
Mainly because like David Yost being gay got fucked with incessantly by the
right.
staff.
That's awful.
And Austin St. John, he just kind of kept a low profile. He actually spent a few years as an EMT, even though everybody tried to say that he'd become a gay porn star.
Yeah, that made me so mad. It's like, okay, like I know it's funny to like say that, but like after like the years went by, it's just like, no, these people have like real lives, you know, like they're
Yeah.
real people. Like, come on.
And a lot of them didn't even enter the convention scene until like recently, like
Well, that's
really
because-
recently.
That's because like nerd culture is just now appreciating like campy things like
Yeah.
Power Rangers. I mean, like we all love Power Rangers now. I mean, back then it's like, oh no, it's fucking terrible. Like, ask my mother would take me to the Power Rangers movie when I was like 5. She was like, oh, that was the worst shit. She was like, the worst fucking thing I've ever seen.
I went with my Taekwondo class back then.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's adorable.
So, the only time I ever watched the original Power Rangers movie, we were in Florida, and then they had a tropical storm come in.
Oh no!
So we were in the hotel, like trees were blowing outside, and like the only thing that was on was the Power Rangers
Oh
movie.
no, it's awful.
It was actually kind of funny. I missed out on watching the Power Rangers movie in theaters. And I happened to be over at my aunt's house one day, and she like always buys kids movies for her kids. And she happened to have VHS copies of both the Power Rangers movie and the Turbo Power Rangers movie.
Oh my god.
So I figured it'd be a cool idea to kick back and be like, I'll watch it back to back.
Oh no.
How bad could it be?
It
And
was
like,
bad.
Oh,
well, the
it's
first
so
one,
terrible.
the first one just made me LOL all the time because it was just like, all right, we's doing some skydiving, and we're doing some like, we got some random ass fucking Van Halen and like, you know, Red Hot Chili Pepper shit in this.
Oh my god.
Like the even funnier part about the Power Rangers movie that I always found was that I can't remember the name of the ninja mystical chick that they find,
I don't know.
but
I
she
don't-
was.
I remember that vaguely.
Well, the funny part is that she was originally played by what's her name from Law and Order SVU.
I don't watch Law and Order.
Mariska
Oh,
Hargitay.
Yeah,
Oh
she was
my
the original like sorceress girl they found in the forest, and then they cut her out and
God.
replaced her with another actress. I'm sure she's probably really happy about having that part cut. And then,
Embarrassing yearbook photos for TV stars.
yeah. And then, of course, like, that was a movie that gave us, like, the glory of Johnny on Bosch, I'm a frog, bit. Before, he went on for superstardom as, Vash and Ichigo and
Sanada
Lelouch.
Yukimura.
Also in Wolf's Rain. Pretty much almost every anime that you can think of nowadays, he's in now. He's kind of like New Age Stephen Blum. But yeah, I went ahead and watched the Turbo Power Rangers movie after that, and I was just like, oh my god, why did we have to put a fucking kid in this shit?
The same reason we had to put a kid in Star Wars Episode 1.
You're right? Oh, Lord. Oops.
So, Ellie, what have you been up to this week in our closing moments?
Oh, I just recently started watching Westworld.
Is it good?
Yes, it's
I watched
fantastic.
a video on the philosophy of that. It seems interesting.
Oh my god. Okay, so Westworld was originally a movie that was written and I don't know if it was directed, but I think it might have been directed by Michael Crichton. You know Michael Crichton as the creator of Jurassic Park. The creator of the books Jurassic Park.
The author.
Yes, the author. But, it's a fucking franchise now, I can say creator. I'm a big Jurassic Park fan. I fucking love Jurassic Park. I've read both books at least, 4 times over by now. I fucking love Jurassic Park. And, Michael Crichton, he's really big. I have some of his other books. He's really big on making parks going wrong. And Westworld, it's based on the movie that he did in the 70s. I think it was 1973 that Westworld came out, and then a sequel called Future World came out a couple of years later. It is basically Jurassic Park, but instead of dinosaurs, it is androids in the Wild West. In Westworld, you can be whoever. If y'all recall, what was that game? Red Dead Revolver. Yeah, Red Dead Revolver. It's basically that, but in real life. You can be whoever you want to be in the West, and you can kill anybody, and basically all the androids, their day starts over the next day. I mean, they implant memories and everything. It's just I don't want to spoil too much, but it's basically it's a whole park you can go to, and you can be like you're in the West. You can be whoever you want to be, kill whoever you want to be, kill whoever you want to. Do little quests for characters that, whatever you want to do. And there's no consequences. You can't get hurt. Only the androids can get hurt. And the androids start their day over the next day, and they don't remember a thing. But in Westworld, they slowly start to realize where they are, what they are, and I won't spoil it beyond that, because there's a lot of shit going on in Westworld, but I really recommend it. It came out last year. There's 10 episodes right now. It's on HBO. I mean, you can find it other places.
It's the new Game of Thrones.
Pretty much. And, of course...
So good.
Rum, what have you been up to?
Work and play. I went to the Renaissance Festival this
Which Renaissance Festival?
There's 3 of them here. 3
But
bands. I went to Sherwood Forest Fair down near Austin, and
So what is
drunken
Sherwood?
Shenanigans.
What is that? Sherwood.
What do you mean? Sherwood Forest Fair?
Yeah, what is that?
It's a Renaissance festival.
And?
Yeah, there's not much.
you go to Renaissance.
He's the man of few words. Leave him his shtick.
Yeah, we'll delve into more into the Renaissance Fair stuff later, but it was a pretty good time though, right?
Yeah, it was fun. Got to
Anything?
camp out and look at stars and drunkenly wander into people's camps. And
Hell yeah.
Good times,
Yeah.
good times. And then Hans, what strikes your fancy this week besides Parasite?
Been watching Parasite. Been working at a new job that I'm not terribly fond of thus far.
it's a paycheck.
Yeah. It's a paycheck is about all I can say for it. That's nice. I've been writing. I actually, this Friday, posted part 3 of the Prism Chasers serial flash fiction. It's up on the site. Check it out, please. I'll be your best friend. And
Okay.
that's about it for me.
So what do you think of Parasite?
I haven't finished it yet, but thus far it is an interesting take on what's happening to the main character and the difference between the parasites and him.
But is it in the Edo period?
No, it isn't.
Far from it.
It is very gory and kind of Invasion of the Body Snatchers-esque, so that's kind of why I took to it. But for now, we should probably close out by saying our goodbyes to our adoring public. We'll start with you, Rum.
So long, farewell.
Vita Zen, good night. So long, I don't remember
Yeah, I don't
the
remember
rest
it.
of this. Okay, go, Ellie.
Night.
Delivery man,
Good night.
Fearless Billy Nwanda.
All right, folks, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for us tonight. We thank all of you guys for listening along with us. Remember that you can check us out every week on the Nevi Devil Group's website. Also, if you got Spotify, if you got Google Play, you can subscribe to us by jumping on the website. We've got buttons set up for that for easy setup. And always pay attention. We got streaming on Mondays. We got streaming throughout the weekend. And we also do our Flash Fiction Fridays and other more goodies coming soon.
I'll
so
start trying to do art every Monday or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, we're watching you.